this video, I'm going to walk you through your Klaviyo account setup structure, and I'm also going to go through lists versus segments and what they actually do. I'm Jake. I'm the co-founder of On Brand Emails, an email marketing agency that's been running for 2 years now. We've helped a number of e-commerce brands across all industries all over the world generate over $45 million plus through email and SMS. So let's get straight into it. Okay, the first part here is just going to be explaining the difference between lists and segments. Lists are static entry points. People are added manually or via a single trigger. Sign up form, upload, or integration. They don't auto-update unless somebody is explicitly added again. These are the best for your flows. All of your flows are likely going to trigger from a list. Not all of them, but a lot of them, like your welcome flow, your post-purchase flow, for example. Segments are very different. They have dynamic rules. So people will auto-enter and auto-exit based on behavior, properties, or time. These are best for targeting, analysis, and campaigns. So you could just say person has placed order equals once over all time. So if somebody has never purchased, but then they purchased, they'll enter that list. If they purchase again for a second time, they will leave that list. The rule of thumb, again, is flows trigger from lists, campaigns send to segments. So the essential segments that every brand needs. The core segments are always going to be your engaged segments. So you'll do 7-day engaged, 14, 30, 60, 90, and 180. An engaged segment is anybody who's opened, clicked an email in that amount of time, or been active on the website, or anything like that. Okay, these matter the most because most of your campaign revenue comes from engaged subscribers. Sending to unengaged people too often can kill your reputation, and it's not going to bring in that much revenue. Then you've got your lifecycle segment. So you've got your first-time buyers, people who've purchased once but haven't purchased again. These are critical for second purchase pushes and huge LTV leverage. So you're going to make more profit off of these people if they buy again. So you really incentivize to get them in for that second purchase. Another lifecycle segment is your repeat customers. So these people have ordered 2 or more times. They're your most profitable audience, and they get VIP treatment, early access, and softer promotions because at this point they likely actually want to purchase for the product itself and not just for some acquisition offer that you have running. Then you've got your high LTV and your VIP customers. These people can be based on revenue or predictive LTV. So maybe, person has spent over X amount over X period of time, or maybe just over all time. You can use these people for exclusives, retention, loyalty. You can even use these people for getting information. You could genuinely send some of your VIP, high LTV customers questions about maybe what should you launch next, what did they think about your last drop, etc. This is really important. So then you have your intent-based segments. These are super important. We call these the money makers. So some examples of these would be someone who's viewed a product but haven't purchased in the last 7 to 14 days. Okay, this person's really high intent. They're looking at your website. They're clicking into products. They're viewing products that they like. They just need incentives or reminders or maybe just that one final nudge. Then you have people who've added to cart or checkout but haven't purchased. These are your warmest non-buyer traffic outside of your flows. These are really, really important. Like people who abandon a cart are going to enter a flow. But if it's been over X amount of days, they may have left that flow. You can still use this and still target these people. Then you've got your browsed category or collection. These are used for hyper-relevant campaigns when product catalogs are large. So if you're a clothing brand and you've got a specific tracksuit bottoms, you can actually create a segment based off of people who viewed that specific product, and you can run campaigns to them with the specific product inside, which does really, really well. Then you've got your churn and your reactivation segments. So you've got your at-risk customers. They purchased before, but not in the last 60 to 90 days. So a really interesting figure in the e-com space. So yeah, your churn and your reactivation segments. So you've got your at-risk customers, people who've purchased before, but they haven't in the last 60 to 90 days. So a really important statistic in the e-commerce space is that once someone purchases, if they don't purchase within 90 days after that, so in that 90-day window, if they go beyond that, there's a 70% chance they'll never come back again. So that 90-day window is crucial. That's why in this segment, you're looking at people who are between 60 and 90. So they're right at the point of no return. You need to use these people to try and win them back before it's too late. Then you've got your lapsed customers. So longer inactivity window. You can consider these people almost lost. You're going to, message these people with unbelievable urgency, plus give them a reason to return. Now you've got your flow health and your exclusions. So you're going to have suppressed unengaged lists for 90 to 180 days. You can exclude these people from campaigns to protect your reputation. You also have flow participants, which is recent. You're going to add this in so that you avoid overlapping or over messaging. So if you're sending a campaign or building a new flow, whatever, you can put in, this list to avoid sending to someone who's currently in like one or two more flows and getting lots of emails. Then you've got your advanced segments. Okay, you've got predictive, so likely to buy soon. Klaviyo predictive analytics, insane ROI when used correctly. You've got discount buyers versus full price buyers. You can control your margin leakage here, which is super important. And you've got product affinity segments, repeat buyers of the same SKU/category. Okay, so these kind of give you really good predictability, and they're super useful when used correctly. So profile properties worth tracking. You've got your core identity and your life cycle. So customer status is your prospect, first-time buyer, repeat, VIP, first purchase, last purchase, total orders, total revenue, AOV, and predicted LTV if you can do that. Then you've got your behavior and intent. When someone last viewed a product, when they last viewed a specific category, when they last added to their cart, and the last time that they initiated a checkout. All of these, behaviors are really important to know. Nextly, you have your acquisition and context. Okay, so you want to know where they came from. Did they come from your pop-up, the footer, a quiz, a landing page, their UTM source, the region, country, language, currency. All these things are really important when you're sending emails. Then you've got preferences, only if you set them up. So preferred category, SMS opt-in, email frequency preference, etc. The general rule of thumb here is if it doesn't change segmentation, personalization, or reporting, there's no point in tracking it. Okay, so finally, I'm going to show you what a clean Klaviyo account would look like to me. So you'd have clear lifecycle segmentation. You would have no overlapping or duplicate flows. You're going to have engaged only campaign sending. You're going to have suppression segments that are actively used. Consistent naming across everything is another important one. Like people build out Klaviyo accounts across years. Things get lost. People don't name stuff correctly. So make sure you're naming everything that you're doing. You'd have your flows doing around 50 to 60% of your revenue, again, from email. But again, this can change. We've got some clients that are very niche that do 90% of their revenue from campaigns and 10% from flows. So this may not exactly be you, and this isn't always correct, but this is kind of generalizing. And lastly, you're going to use your campaigns strategically and not reactively. So some brands will maybe have a bad month and they're going to then decide to double their campaign sends. They might run an offer, so on and so forth. It's never really what you want to do. So this is the infrastructure. Set it up right for the first time. You'll never have to rebuild it. In the next video, we're getting into growing your list. So the next video is going to be super, super important. It's one of the keys of email marketing. Even though it is retention marketing, you're trying to get more purchases from the same people. Equally as important for email marketing is getting more customers, more eyeballs. The more people that see your emails, the more revenue you're ultimately going to make. So make sure you watch the next one.